Hi guys, and welcome to the YouTube video where I'll be talking about the prerequisites it takes to be a lifeguard, the test you have to take, just tips and tricks on how to pass it exactly, and my experience with being a lifeguard, what you have to do after the prerequisites, like the training, all of that. Yeah. So we'll just get into it. Okay, so for the prerequisites, if you are under 18, which I was taking this, you will have to have a parent come with you to sign a waiver and all of that, just for your own safety, so it's okay. And yeah, so at the time I was taking this, it was, I think 2022, early 2022. I was 16, 5'1", under 100 pounds, so if I did it, you definitely can. It depends on your swimming experience, I guess. So I grew up on an island. I'm pretty used to, swimming. I had a bit of swimming lessons here and there growing up, but yeah, as long as you can save yourself and just save yourself and basic knowledge of swimming, like front stroke, breaststroke, all of that, I think you should be good. Okay, yeah, so the first one was a 300-yard swim. So it depends on the size of your pool, but mine was touch this end, go back and forth, touch this end 6 times. And 300 yards, that's a lot if you think about it, but while you're swimming it really is not anything. This one is not timed. There's another test that is timed, but this one is not timed. You will have to perform it in only front stroke or breaststroke, but you don't have to worry about rushing or anything because it is untimed. You can take as much time as you want. The main thing for this one is to watch your breathing. Pace yourself, because I remember I didn't swim the entire week before taking this test, so taking the swimming the actual 300 yards, I was gassing out. I was kind of drowning under the water, low-key, trying not to show it, but yeah, I was struggling to breathe, struggling to find my pace. That is the main thing. And I was taking this. I was the only girl in my class, or in my session, taking the test. There's these other big burly looking men, so yeah, I think that kind of intimidated me a little. And I was definitely the last to finish, but take your time, watch your breathing. Okay, so the second test was tread water. I've heard some people only had to do it 2 minutes straight, others 3 minutes straight. I think mine was 2 minutes straight. So treading water, you gotta keep your hands above your head or under your armpits, and you only use your legs to keep your head above the water, keep yourself afloat. I would recommend putting your arms under your armpit if possible, because I'm pretty skinny. I was scrawny at the time. I didn't have that much leg muscle, and I didn't know how to really keep myself afloat. I only knew the flutter kick, so I was flutter kicking for my life. And yeah, so I did this pose. So when I was kind of struggling to keep my head above the water, I kind of used my arms to help keep me up a little. My instructor did not mention anything about it, so I think I got the pass on that. Okay, so for the third test, it's a 20-yard swim, so this is the beginning of the pool, you have to swim to the other end of the pool, dive down about 6 feet or 10 feet, depends on the pool you're taking it, of course. And you have to kind of hold the brick above your chest like this, after bringing it up back, to hold it above your chest like this and swim backwards pretty much. And yeah, that one was pretty difficult. This is timed. It was timed. You have to make it under 1 minute and 45 seconds. It was scary. I'll admit, little girl trying to become a lifeguard, yeah. But I failed my first one because I kept bumping into the side of the pool, but luckily, oh my gosh, luckily I was given a second shot, and this one I made it just 1 minute and 35 seconds. I was really close to the cutoff time, but I still qualified, so yeah, when you get the brick and you're bringing it back, you have to lift it out of the water to the pool, and then lift yourself out of the water to show that you can handle someone else and yourself. And yeah, so my only tips I would say going into this test is definitely swim the week of your test. Like don't swim enough to tire yourself out, but definitely swim enough to practice, because I did not swim the week of my test and I was going into it thinking like, oh, I can swim, I got this. No, I struggled on the 300-yard swim because I couldn't find my pace, and I definitely struggled on the last one. Luckily I made it. And that was all for the deep water certification. So I'm qualified to lifeguard pools of up to 12 feet. All of this was for American Red Cross training. So I did have to pay $375 after my 2 weeks of training. So you're only allowed to do the 2 weeks of training, or mine was 2 weeks. You're only allowed to do the training if you pass the prerequisite. If you don't pass that, you will have to take it again another time. But yeah, so my training, it was nice. I really think it just depends on your instructor. I'm not sure if this is for everyone. Mine was 3 days a week, 2 hours each session. So this one will go over by the book training and physical training, so you will have to dress up for some sessions. I'm sure your instructor will let you know that, but yeah, so my biggest tip for that is pay attention, take notes, and go over them, because there are a lot of acronyms like AED, CPR, that you will have to know. The different types of victims you will see in the water, like passive drownings, all of that. You will have to memorize those, and specific ways to rescue them. With a lifeguard tube, without a lifeguard tube, you will go over all of that during your training. And yeah, after the 2 weeks you get your certification of completion and you get to go on and find yourself a lifeguarding job. And then actually working as a lifeguard. So I was only a lifeguard for under 2 years, I think 1.5 years. I was a lifeguard at some resort. I was at Hilton Resort. I was a lifeguard for a couple of pools, and honestly, I guess it just depends on where you're stationed, but I didn't experience much rescues as much as I thought I would. It really just assists, like handing your lifeguard tube out to help someone. There were a couple of official rescues I've had to make. Some, like, they were tourists, you know, big men who jump into the 6 feet pool, don't know how to swim, can't reach the bottom. Those are so terrifying, but luckily, I mean, you'll go through your training, you'll be prepared. You just have to think fast and remember your training. But yeah, being a lifeguard it was great, and I do miss being a lifeguard sometimes. You get to, depends on where you work, but you get to meet people, you get to talk to kids, work with people of all kinds, and experience how it is to save a life. I've never personally had a rescue where I had to perform CPR or use an AED, but you know, you don't know whatever is going to happen, so you really have to read your notes once in a while, because being a lifeguard, it is kind of tiring to the mind, you know, just watching all these Patreons swimming and you're just sitting there like, what to do, wish there was a rescue. But yeah, go over your notes so you do not forget your procedures. And yeah, thanks for watching. That is my experience as a lifeguard and everything I could have told you to help with the prerequisites. And yeah, I hope this video gave you what you're looking for. If you have any questions, go ahead and leave some in the comments. I respond pretty fast, I'd say. I check it every day. But yeah, thanks for watching and hope you enjoyed the video.